welcome to RVN Television.
RVN Television, Morning Coffee.
Morning Coffee on Friday morning. I'm Joe Osmendi.
You are?
Yes.
My name is Alcini.
Good
What
to see
a pleasure to meet you.
It's amazing.
That's unbelievable.
Every Friday.
But you looked in the outside, too.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. The most important thing is these people right here.
What are we talking
about? We have great guests today, to open up our hot topic.
We've been talking about this.
Yes.
I'm excited about this conversation.
I'd like to introduce the audience to Jarrell and Carice Crew. They're co-owners of Gun Talk Firearms and Safety Company.
Jarrell, not to be confused with Superman's father.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
but
right.
It could be. I mean,
He's my Superman.
Yeah, you're Superman. There you go. Absolutely.
Great.
And he's also a trainer for the United States Concealed Carry Association, correct?
Great.
And you're president of the Philadelphia chapter of the National African American Gun Association.
Exactly.
Wow. Welcome to Morning Coffee, you two.
Definitely great.
It's wonderful. In the climate we have now, it's so important to talk about how to handle guns and gun safety. So, give us a little bit of your background, Jarrell, about how you got into this.
Actually, I grew up in the inner city in West Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Parents were from the South.
Mm-hmm.
So my father always had firearms. So it was nothing new to us in the house, being my mom and dad and five of us, as five brothers. So seeing a firearm wasn't something that was like, oh God, we knew that's the firearm. You don't touch it, and that was pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got older and met this lovely lady, I started upping my game with firearms.
You did good.
Thank you. Great. So I started upping my game with firearms and purchasing pretty nice firearms, stepping up, getting really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that really good stuff costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, listen to me, if you're going to be spending this kind of money on a firearm, we need to do something
Let's
with
make a business out of it.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Let's
yes.
get return on investments.
Uh-huh.
So that's actually how we got started. She sent me the training to become an instructor through the USCCA.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that instructor's certification, started training people in the community about firearm safety. And then as time progressed, I took other certifications, became a range safety officer through the USCCA as well, certified through them as well. And then we just came back from Milwaukee because we had to go out. Actually, we had to fly out to the USCCA's headquarters in Milwaukee because they had a big training there. It was called the TC training.
Okay.
And that's for training counselors.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was amazing because there were 360 plus candidates for that training, but they only selected 60. So I was one out of the 60 people.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys. So now I am a certified USCCA TC, which is a training counselor, which means I now have the ability to train others to become firearm instructors.
So you can train the trainer, essentially.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
To become instructors now. So
good. And that's awesome. What your company does then.
Yes, yes. We are super big on, of course, our Second Amendment rights. And we're also super big on training people.
Mm-hmm.
Training is key. It is so important to train.
Definitely.
And I say that, the worst people that you could probably hang around are people that have purchased a firearm and get no training.
Right.
No, it's a bad idea.
You must get training, guys. It's so important that you get training. I mean, I look at what's going on in our inner city in Philadelphia, and we have a lot of gun homicides right now.
Sure, you're up.
And unfortunately, the people that go through the process of getting their concealed carry license, these are not the people that are committing these type of crimes. We had a police officer come into one of our chapter meetings, and he spoke with us. He's been on the force for about 25 years, I believe.
Yes, yes.
And he stated to us, he says the only issue he ever had with the concealed carry licensed person who had a license to carry, he had one interaction with him in his 25 years, and that's because he had to use his firearm against a dog that was attacking him.
Okay.
Everyone else was criminals.
Seriously, nobody's. I mean, that was. There's so many misconceptions around firearms.
Yes.
I mean, this. After a while, I know you guys were very close to everything about it.
Yes. Yes.
Can overlook the fact that 99% everybody is familiar with guns because they're a big part of our culture. Everything you see, everything you hear about, guns are in the middle of it all.
That's correct.
But nobody really understands what one is. Hardly anybody's ever actually held one.
Exactly.
And for the same reason that you wouldn't buy a car and then learn how to drive it on your way home,
Right.
which is a bad idea. You learn how to drive the car first, and then you own the car that's appropriate for what you're trying to accomplish in your life, whatever that might be.
That's correct.
So that whole idea that it's just a purchase, it's just a tool.
Right.
That if you don't have to be afraid of it, it's not going to jump up off the table and shoot you by itself.
Exactly.
You know, it's not going to do that. It's no more dangerous. It's as dangerous as a drill in the hands of somebody who doesn't know how to use it.
Exactly.
And I think that's such an important value proposition, especially these days.
Yes,
And
absolutely. I agree.
And the other thing is, you have to, when you talk about training, you want to have the proper training. You want to have somebody that's qualified.
Yes.
My Uncle Jay can't sit there and say, "I'm going to show you how to shoot a gun." I mean, that's almost as bad.
I'd be a little afraid because your Uncle Jay can be about 3,225 years old now. So, well, I don't think I want him older than that.
Well, that's true, too.
I know. I don't want that. Just you bring up your Uncle Jay. I couldn't resist.
You know, it's just interesting that you say that, because with the training, like, that's why what we're doing is so great, because like I was saying earlier, there's been over 5 million new gun owners.
Mm-hmm.
And so those people are purchasing firearms,
Right.
and what do they know about it? They have to get trained.
Right.
And that's why I love what we're doing, because we are meeting a lot of people that have said, oh, I've never even touched a gun before. They're not even buying proper guns. They don't even buy proper ammo. And then they don't know the 5 universal laws.
What are they?
Okay, so
Let's hear it.
this is important, and I teach this religiously at my trainings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually 4 universal rules for the firearm, but there is one additional that NAGA gives us, the National African American Gun Association.
Okay.
So the first one is, guys, treat all firearms as though they're loaded. And always perform a clearance check when you're handling them.
Right.
Always. So I do this religiously, even in training.
Even with the laser
Those
guns.
are not actual firearms.
even with the laser.
Which is important to remember for people watching.
Yes.
But they're training tools, which
Right.
we'll talk about
Exactly.
in a minute. Go on.
And and then the second one is you want to keep your finger off the trigger and outside that trigger guard. So it's going to be off the trigger and outside the trigger guard until you're on target and you've made a decision to shoot. You never want to pick up a firearm and just put your finger on the trigger.
Right.
Bad practice.
Okay.
You never want to do that. Also, you want to always keep that firearm pointed in a safe direction, right?
Never at anybody.
Never at anybody. So you never point your firearm at anything you're not willing to destroy.
Okay.
And that includes yourself, you know. And you'll see a lot of people flash people with their muzzles when they pick up firearms, and you have to have a good respect for them,
Mm-hmm.
because this is how people get hurt in the community.
Right.
And children get hurt in
Children
homes
get hurt, yeah.
because
Yes.
they don't know the universal safety laws.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to understand that you got to know your target and what's beyond it and around it. Because let's say, me being a licensed firearm carrier, my wife as well, if you find yourself in a self-defense situation, which we hope you will never have to get involved in, and you have to discharge your firearm, well, you need to make sure, first of all, that your firearm hits its intended purpose. If you miss your target and hit someone else, then you are responsible for that. So every round that leaves your firearm, you are responsible for. So that's why you have to know your target, what's beyond it, what's around it. Every shot might not be a good shot.
Right.
So, and if there's kids around and things of that nature, you may have to think about that.
Right.
You know. So, and then the 5th rule, one which I never thought about, that NAGA brought
That
up.
has nothing to do directly with the guns.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the 5th universal rule now that NAGA gives us is never attempt to catch a falling gun.
Really?
And I never thought about that.
I
never thought about that.
that sounds like a great safety tip.
Right.
Yes,
Seriously,
yes.
why?
Never attempt to catch a falling gun.
Because you're going to fumble.
There's a possibility you may engage the trigger trying to capture.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
It's
Let
someone
it
else.
Exactly.
Or hit yourself.
Exactly.
No kidding.
Exactly. So
How
those are
often
the
are that? I guess that's a big cause of accidents. Then when people are fumbling,
Absolutely.
just let it fall
Let it fall.
and then bend over and pick it
There
up.
you go. There you go. Let it fall.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, guys, I tell you, when we train people, a lot of women are coming through.
Yes.
We train.
Good for them.
It's
Great.
amazing. It's so
I have
amazing.
a couple of stories on that because it's. But actually, that brings up a question.
Yes.
Though. Did the two of you meet because of guns, or was guns? Where did the firearms thing come in?
Well, no, we actually met working together.
Yeah.
But the firearms just kind of came natural because she's from Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And she grew up around firearms with her dad.
That's the shooting of a mosquito.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I grew up riding around with rifles in the car, the Texas way. Hunters and, I kind of grew up like that.
So that developed it. Your business developed around your separate love of firearms.
Yes.
Interesting.
And
great.
owning and having firearms, but not really understanding or knowing the rules. So it's been a really great adventure for both of us, because I feel like since he's been doing this, my knowledge and understanding for firearms has become like more passionate. I'm understanding more. These are things that I never knew before, and now that I'm like seeing people come in and just really wanting to know and understand, this is just amazing to me. It's really amazing.
It's a couple that stays together, shoots together, stays together.
There we go.
There you go.
He knows not to mess with me.
We've got to take a quick break.
Okay, but when we come back, I've got about 500,000 questions. So what a great program!
Stick around. Best is yet to go.
We'll be right back.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek. Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
That's how we do it.
Casinos by the ocean. Now that's New Jersey. 100.
We're back. We sure are, and this is such a great conversation.
It's wonderful.
It's a serious conversation. I'm kind of smiling about it. Mostly, I think I'm smiling about it because we see guns on television all the time.
Right.
And you watch a TV show, and you see them. You see how they handle a firearm, which is for entertainment purposes.
Exactly.
You think that because you watch some actor use a phony gun on television, and you learn from that, you think, well, now I can do it too.
Yes.
And you can't. Yes. Which is really the point.
Yes.
Now, during the break, we were talking about different kinds of ammunition. Some will stop.
That's right.
Right? And some will keep going.
That's right.
You teach all that.
Absolutely. Okay. So it's important that you know what rounds go in your firearm and what you should have in there for what situation you're in. Mm-hmm. I mean, owning a firearm is a big responsibility.
Sure.
It's a big responsibility. And so we take that responsibility serious.
Definitely.
So when we teach people, we take it serious because there's a lot of legal issues you can come up against if you do things the wrong way. Mm-hmm. So you want to really do things the right way, understand the laws in your town, in your state, to understand.
And between states, because
it
was funny. You pointed out, you came here from Pennsylvania. This is New Jersey.
That's right.
If you have a gun in your car in Pennsylvania and you cross the bridge without thinking about it, you can end up in jail for it.
That's exactly right.
Because you just didn't, oh my God, I forgot.
That's exactly right.
You got to break the weapon down. It's got to be stored in different parts of the car.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, and they find that gun on you, and the judge has no discretion.
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, if you, even in New York, me being a resident of Pennsylvania, if I go to New York and I go into a firearms store and I touch a firearm, that's a felony.
Really?
No kidding.
Yes.
Period. Wow.
being out of
And you
state.
teach all that.
I teach all that.
Yeah, that's important too.
It's
because I don't
important.
think people really understand that.
It's so important to understand these laws.
How long is a course? If I'm going to take a gun training course, how long does it take?
So roughly, we do a concealed carry course. We do a home defense course. We do mini courses as well for people who can't take the entire course in one day. So typically, a concealed carry course is about 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's about 3 hours of classroom,
Mm-hmm.
and then an hour either we're going to go to the range or we're going to do some laser pistol training.
Talk about the laser pistols because they have. May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There you go.
Remember the universal safety.
The rule is that's
Yep.
finger
You're on the
outside.
trigger. That's right. Going to
Don't-
right up here on the frame.
Okay,
There
on the
you go.
frame. That's where
right.
you.
Point it in the safe direction.
Okay, and
Very.
it has the same weight and
Same
feel
weight. Yes.
as a real pistol would
Absolutely.
have. And is there a safety kind of a switch that you have to throw to be able to fire it?
On this one, no,
Yeah.
because it's modeled after the real one. So
Okay.
there's no safety on that.
All right, great.
The
So
only safety you're going to use is going to be your brain and your trigger finger.
okay, and a thing to remember is until I know what I want to hit,
That's
keep
right.
my finger outside of
Absolutely.
that pocket that the trigger is in.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking to keep my hand steady when I pull the trigger, which is another
Absolutely.
point you made.
Absolutely.
You don't want a lot of, and that's where the laser.
That's
thing
where the
comes in.
laser comes in.
That's
That's where the laser comes in
if
handy.
you would like to give that a try.
Be careful where you point that
Be
thing.
careful where you point that.
Perfect, Joe. Perfect.
Yeah,
Just
Go
like
ahead,
that.
make my day.
All right, no. See, all right. Now, look. I mean, first of all, I think shooting is fun.
Yes.
Honestly, I mean, a lot of
Yes.
people. It's serious, certainly serious. This is a serious instrument. It's not the kind of thing you take lightly. But I remember I was going to tell you the story about women in my life. I have a wife who can't imagine being anywhere near one of these because she's terrified of it.
Right.
But she has a sister who really is interested in getting to a gun range to learn how to use a firearm. And my daughter, who is, let's say, at least liberal. I mean, that's her politics are definitely liberal. We
Right.
just started talking again after 4 years. If you know what I mean, it was one of those
I
families.
understand.
Well, she went to a gun range and they taught her how to shoot, and she had the biggest smile on her face. I have to tell you, she said, "This is a very satisfying experience. It's your brain and your hand connected in a way that you never normally connect them."
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like yoga.
And she loved it. I mean, she loved it. So she fired like I think 12 or 13 different kinds of weapons.
That's
It's
awesome.
amazing.
She was in Austin, Texas.
Oh,
There you go.
yes.
So there was she was at an event for her work, and so they took them all out to a gun range, and she said it was the best experience of her life.
Yeah, I mean,
She had a
you'd be
great time.
surprised. People, when they first learn, it's like they come in terrified
Right.
and they leave smiling, like, wow.
Yes.
It's not that. It's an important thing. Concealed carry. You know, the whole idea that you've got it somewhere
Right.
on your person
Right.
means that how you set that gun up, what kind of holster you buy.
Absolutely.
These are all things that you teach people
Absolutely.
as well.
All those are in the course.
Okay,
All
so
that's in the course.
Another thing I think it's pretty interesting is when you see people shooting guns on TV. It seems like so easy to shoot a gun out of somebody's hand and stuff like that. That just doesn't happen that way, does it? No, that doesn't happen.
Right. That's just television,
Right.
basic television. And I think, unfortunately, we learn a lot from what we see on television, and then we think we can go out and mimic that, and it's actually the wrong way.
Right.
It's actually the wrong way. So, it's just important to go out and get that training. Like I didn't even speak on the fact that NAGA, the National African American Gun Association, I have now become the president of the Philadelphia NAGA chapter of that Gun Talk. And we have roughly around how many members now? We just started, guys, actually.
We just started, and we probably have about 62 members now. And we started in about February. We got everything signed and finalized. But I just want to say something about you with the women really quickly.
Yeah,
before you
please.
head into that. So many women are coming in for training, and like you said, a lot of them have been really afraid. So sometimes we have women coming in the training, and even when they're holding the laser guns, they're like shaking as they hold it, and they're so afraid when they're holding it. But then when they come out of this class, they are like shooting like a pro. He does drills with them, and it's amazing to see how women are coming in afraid, and they're coming out like they are ready to purchase their first
only
firearm.
a few hours later.
Yes.
It's not like you did.
Yes.
You have to do 10 weeks on it.
No, it's just about
Don't you
being
realize
comfortable.
That, okay, so for my sister-in-law, who would really love to learn how to use one of these. Would you? Is that something you guys do? I mean, if somebody wants to get out there and try it,
absolutely,
can call you.
Absolutely, they can absolutely call us. We also do some classes via Zoom.
Okay.
So sometimes you don't even have to leave your home. You can just sit home and go through a 55-minute course. And we have a couple of different courses set up for that.
Great, and it's gun safety, so it's not
exactly
obviously not
right. So
a
anything that involves us actually touching the firearm, I don't do over Zoom.
Okay,
I need to see you in person because I want to make sure
do that at a range where everything is all done.
How difficult is it to get a concealed weapons permit? How difficult is it?
Right now, it's a lengthy process.
Especially if you live depending on where you live as well. We've had some people say, "Hey, I walked right in and I got my concealed carry license," and then others, especially around the pandemic time when people were just like acting in fear. It was taking up to a year.
Up to a year.
Yes.
I mean, unbelievable times. I mean, Philadelphia is pretty notorious for being a lengthy process. Unfortunately, a lengthy process.
Isn't there a state though that just passed a rule
Texas.
that said Texas said you can conceal carry
my home
without having to be licensed at all? Right?
Right.
Yes.
So it just depends on where you live at. Like in the suburbs, like Delaware County, you're going to get your license to carry faster.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
So okay. Before you leave, you're certainly going to tell everybody how they can reshoot.
Absolutely.
When we get to the end of the program, but I need your card for my sister-in-law.
Absolutely.
Because I think I'd like to learn too, and there's no way my wife is going to go with me on that. So she might come along just to. I don't know. I have to see, but
I have concealed carry pocketbooks, and they're 100% leather. So maybe we can tell her she can come look at some pocketbooks.
Well. It's a fashion thing, so that's a whole different level of conversation.
Well, people have to have their permits forced before they can take the course, right?
They don't have to.
They don't have to. Okay, because that's why I asked what the length.
You can take a course not knowing anything, not having anything. As long as you're there,
absolutely,
you're supervising them operating.
Absolutely.
That's it. So, and if they decide they want to go from there to become a licensed firearm owner, then you can help them with advice.
I help them with that process as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I try to walk them through the whole complete process.
And to what you were saying, some people actually want to take the course before they get their concealed carry license. We have people come in and call us like, before I get my concealed carry, I would like to take the course and understand what I'm getting myself into beforehand.
I want to see what
so they do actually call and ask those questions beforehand.
Yeah. Now, how expensive is it for somebody who just wants to give it a try? I mean, if I want to get to know what it's like to hold a gun and fire a gun, is that a heavy lift expense-wise, or
as far as training?
Affordable.
Yeah, no, I mean just coming in and saying I want to work on a range with you and I want you to help me.
Oh yeah. It's very affordable prices.
$175 for the course, so it's very affordable. But from there, you're in your 4-hour course. And we do give you snacks and your water, and then you do learn either the laser training or go to the range with Jarrell.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have to own the gun to begin with. I don't have to have bullets. You'll provide all that.
Absolutely.
To get me to a point where I can then make a choice for myself.
Absolutely.
And I do want to say one more thing, because sometimes people act emotionally and then regret it later. When they do that with a pistol, the regret is enormous. I mean, we see headlines of people in road rage, for example, and so helping people manage their emotional load before they pick one of these things up has got to be part of what you.
Oh, it's definitely key. It's definitely key. You have to definitely make sure you express that to people.
If you go and grab that because you're pissed off, you're going to make a mistake that you're going to regret for the
not
rest
only
of your
that,
life.
see, if a person without a concealed carry license says something or does something while they're driving in their car in road rage, they may get hit with a misdemeanor. But you wave your firearm at someone and say, "Hey, get out of my way," or whatever you want to say, you're going to be charged with a felony.
And you're going in, and you're not coming out until they're planting tomatoes on Mars.
Absolutely. So, a lot of responsibility in owning these firearms. Yeah. This is what I teach people in our community. It's a lot of responsibility.
And that's just waving the gun.
Just waving the gun.
All it takes is, that's all you have to do. I mean, God forbid you should fire it.
That's right.
In addition to that, I mean, I don't think that's the gravity of it.
Absolutely.
So you just have to understand, I think everybody I don't care whether you're skeet shooting or whatever the sport it's a sport.
Absolutely.
You want to respect it and understand the risks and manage them appropriately.
Absolutely.
And that's why you guys are so important.
And I like that because even when he went to his training, he told me that they let him know, hey, you can tell people I'm not going to give you a certificate because I don't think you're ready.
Right.
I don't feel like
you
you're
don't
ready.
approve everyone. Everyone's not going to be
don't.
approved.
No, because you can see that emotional, how they're like, there's certain things, if you watch what people say, and you can listen to them.
You can read them and you know that this is a bad prospect to own a gun.
Yes.
You
and,
can tell.
Yeah, and like I think in Delaware they have to, we had to sign up to be trainers for Delaware, but they have to get approved through the course to actually be able to get their concealed carry license.
Mm-hmm.
And does New Jersey have to do that too?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
So,
okay.
This is we take this very seriously.
We should.
There's reverence. There's you have to. There's a reverence involved.
Absolutely. One of the sad things is they're making toy guns to be so realistic now. And that's a whole different area because that's why children get shot because police can't tell from a distance.
Right.
I mean, they could tell if it was a toy or not.
Yes.
So that's unfortunate. So it is just so important to get the proper training, like you said.
Yes.
And make sure that it's a certified trainer.
Yes.
Because you not only do you get what you pay for, but you're really assured of being able to handle that firearm with the best intentions.
I'm going to move your coffee cup a little because I'm a little worried that you might be close to it. I'm not worried about the gun. I'm worried about that gun.
Well, I'm so glad I had you.
That's so kind. Look at you too. Teamwork.
Don't worry about it. I invited you here. Don't worry about it.
Yes. Try to ignore this guy. I just think it's such an important subject. It's such a misunderstood. Everybody knows about it, and nobody understands it.
Yes.
And that's why what you do is so valuable.
Yeah, and I think if we get more people trained, I think gun violence will definitely go down.
Sure.
Like our plan in the future is to create a 501c3, 501c4 where we can help children in communities understand and who have dealt with gun trauma and help them understand the significance of these guns. Because when you know, you do better.
Then you do better.
Yes.
That's always true.
Yes.
That's true in anything.
Yes.
In particular, I think with firearms.
Absolutely. Yes.
So we're at the end of the program, and here's your opportunity to tell everybody how to reach the crew.
Yes, our crew.
There you go. So you want to tell them how to reach us.
Yes. And first, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate that.
Such a pleasure.
And for anyone who wants firearm training, safety, learn how to go to the range with my wonderful husband because he is a great trainer, or want to become a trainer themselves, they can go to www.thatguntalk.com.
You can also follow me on YouTube under J Crew space the number 4, the letter U, and we're also on Instagram under That Gun Talk.
Yes, he has gun. He goes over a plethora of firearms on YouTube, so you can learn more about Buns and his lovely passion for firearms. Yes.
You mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned on air, but you mentioned you're a collector. And it's not just about handguns. There are all kinds of other weapons that people can learn how to use effectively from you. So absolutely. Really great program.
Absolutely.
So great having you here.
Thank you guys for having us here.
It's a lot of fun.
So much.
Some people have Terry Crews, but we have the Crew.
This is the Crew.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with more morning coffee after these meshes.
Stick around.
Thanks, everybody.